Hello everyone and welcome. No, why do I always do this? Hello my beautiful bookish friends and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell, I am sick. I just sneezed, so I'm like super sniffly. I apologize. But today we're doing a book haul. Hooray! I did already do a book haul this year, but those were books that I had not purchased in 2023. But I have in fact purchased a stack because where my arm is the top of the stack. I have gotten a whole lot of books here, so let's just jump into it so we can talk about them. First and foremost, I'm so excited about the first three because I had my eye on them for a long time on Pango once I found out they existed. And these are special editions of books I already have. I think I have mentioned before, I only own one special edition of a book that I own, and that is my Caraval Special Collector's Edition here that looks like a ticket and has the inscription on the back. These ones are from one of my favorite fantasy romance series, and they are the Bookish box, I believe, or maybe I think these are Bookish box editions of the first three books in the From Blood and Ash trilogy. So there is a fourth book. However, all the listings that had all four books were over $350. These ones went on sale for like $180, and I had saved up all my Pango stuff to the point that I only paid $60 out of my own pocket. So this is what they look like. There is a little bit of damage on them, which kind of sucks, but I think I can fix it for the most part, and I don't think that's the seller's fault. I think it happened in the mail. This is the cover of the first. So we have Poppy's dagger here, and then all of the spines line up to like all these little half circles connect. Sprayed edges on here. This one is red roses, and then when you open it up, it's also red roses, but the dust jackets have artwork in them. So this is Poppy and Hawk at the ball. Kid books are just as pretty. They have this beautiful embossing done on them. So if you're someone who likes to display special editions naked, you can. There's a bunch of these listed on Pango and eBay and stuff. But they're also signed. All of them are signed by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So then of course, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, a little bit different here. These ones have more just half. This one just kind of has a design on the sprayed edges. It's a little more orangey. The inside is fire, and like I said, signed. And this one is when they're in the springs. So, just a bit more risque. Finally, the Crown of Gilded Bones, which I think has my favorite cover. Has little swords and daggers on the sprayed edges, and then this is all bones that make up this pattern. And then this is Poppy seeing the statues. Oh, and the Crown of Gilded Bones is actually on the back of this book. Next, we have my book of the month pick for March. I'm going in reverse order that I acquired these, by the way. So we have the London Seance Society. Now, this is by the same author who wrote the Lost Apothecary. I wasn't a fan of that one. I thought it was a little too predictable. This one is another historical fiction. It's in 1873, and it's about these people who do seances. That's really all I know about it. But I thought it kind of sounded like something I'd be interested in. It sounds witchy. It sounds like a little bit spooky. So I picked this one for March. And I ordered a book off Pango. I actually got this before the other editions, so I wouldn't have had to pay even less. But it's okay because I wanted to get it. I got Taylor Jenkins Reid's a book, Carrie Soto is Back. This is in the same universe as Daisy Jones, Malibu Rising, and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is about the tennis player that I think his name is Brian. It's whoever Nina's boyfriend is in the book, Malibu Rising. It's her boyfriend's, like, this is the girl that he cheats on Nina with. All about her retiring from tennis and then not really knowing what to do with herself now that she's not, you know, famous tennis player Carrie Soto. She's just Carrie. So it's kind of just about her comeback story, and I'm interested to see if I like it as much as all of Taylor Jenkins Reid's other books. I picked up 2 books that I have already read and talked about in my wrap-ups. I've been reading Serena Valentino's Villain series. I listened to the first 3 books on audio, so I picked up the physical copies. These are really fun because they have the half-face sort of situation going on, but then when you take the dust jacket off, there's like a different version of the villain in there. So like Maleficent is a dragon, the Beast turns to Adam, Ursula. These are really short, by the way. I think the audiobook was less than 3 hours. Ursula turns to Vanessa. So I got these. I already rated these. Check out my last wrap up, or I think my January wrap up has all of these listed. And my mom has actually gotten into reading, and she picked up 2 books. I haven't read them yet, but we have A Rip Through Time. This is a historical fiction that deals with time travel. A girl goes back in time and encounters Jack the Ripper. She has to try and help solve the case in order to get back to her own time. And then My Dearest Darkest, which is a YA dark academia one. This is about, there's some kind of presence in this tunnel that the powerful kids at this school kind of give offerings to, and the presence will give them something back, but they also have to sacrifice something. But this girl comes there, encounters this presence, and does, like, the presence doesn't ask anything of her, but just gives her things. And I believe her parents die soon after they visit the academy, so there's a little bit of like, was the presence involved in them dying? And then I got 2 more Wonder Woman New 52s. I got volume 3, volume 4. These just pick up where the last ones left off. But I also went book shopping quite a bit in February because I had saved up a little bit of money and I was able to, so I did. But I picked up a lot of new releases because I kind of started paying attention to new releases this year, and normally I don't. I just kind of like whatever, like when I get caught up in my series, I'll pay attention. However, Mackenzie Lee, who I am caught up on all of the Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue books, I finished that series. She released a new Marvel book. Now, I had never read any of her other Marvel stuff. She has a Gamora and Nebula book and a Loki book. So as she was writing this one, I knew I needed to get it the day it came out, and I actually got it the next day because the package got delayed to my Barnes & Nobles and I had to reserve a copy because there was only like 2 copies of this book. So I wanted to make sure I got it. Now, I've never done that with a book before, but for good reason, I wanted this one because it is The Winter Soldier, The Cold Front. And this is obviously about Bucky Barnes. Obviously, she basically wrote it as Bucky is in the movies, Sebastian Stan looking character. However, this one talks about how he became the Winter Soldier and what happened before that. So we're kind of getting like cuts to what he's doing now, all the political things he was involved in, and also Bucky as a child to young adult to being drafted. So I will take whatever Winter Soldier content I can get. I've watched Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Civil War I don't know how many times, and I really like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, I'm a Bucky Barnes stan. So had to get it. First edition in this house. I also got another Wonder Woman comic. This one I think I got in February as well. Then I kind of stuck to my resolution this year. I really have been trying to only get books in series, brand new releases that I have to have, and books that finish series that I'm reading. So, or books I've already read. So I picked up The Last of August by Brittany Calvaro because this is the next book in the Charlotte Holmes series. Now, I listened to the first one on audio from my library and loved it. So I wanted to get the physical copy because I know I'll reread the first one, and I definitely am going to want to read the second one, whether I listen to it on audio or not. These are just fun Sherlock Holmes and Watson's modernizations and retelling. There's a little bit of dark academia because they do go to like a specialized school. Speaking of continuing series, I got the next 2 books in the Bromance Book Club. I got Crazy Stupid Bromance and Isn't It Bromantic because I loved Undercover Bromance, and so did one of my very best friends. She read it and loved it. So now we have Noah and Vlad. This is the Russian who is hilarious. It looks like his romance of choice is like historical romance because there's like a Regency one on the back, and Noah's appear to be sports romances, and he's like a hacker, and I think because there's the cat on the front that he is going to be with the cat cafe owner from the second book. And I'm not sure who Vlad will end up with. Maybe the journalist from the second book. And then I got Fairest of Them All. Again, one of the Serena Valentino books. This one is The Hag on the inside. These ones are not standalones. They are a true series. So if you're somebody who wants like a true Disney series where everything is interconnected, I recommend that one. Then I got and already read City of Hooks and Scars. This is the second book in the City of Villains series by Estelle Laurie. This one I listened to on audio as well, but I also reread the first book when I did it. And I had conflicting thoughts on it, so you guys can check that out on my wrap-up. But that just picks up where the last books left off, with Mary Elizabeth Hart being torn between being a villain and being a detective. Then I picked up a short story collection. Now, normally I do not like short stories. I am not a big anthology person because I always end up not liking more stories than I end up liking. However, I think this one I will be okay with because there's only 3 stories, and it's Ali Hazelwood's Loathe to Love You. These are all enemies to lovers romance short stories that kind of exist in her STEM romance series. So we have Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and Below Zero. All the characters have different science focuses, and they all end up, you know, I think it's all forced proximity too. One is a roommate situation, one is stuck in an elevator, and one is like a rescue mission in Antarctica, like they're trapped in the science lab. Now, there's another one. This one I don't know a lot about, but it's A Witch You Gonna Do. It's about a girl who claims she's a witch and a guy who's like, yeah, right. He doesn't believe it, so he is going to try and basically prove that she's not a witch, and there's some sort of curse. Yeah, I think it's enemies to lovers. I liked the cover, I'm not gonna lie. It's super cute. It keeps coming across my Instagram, so I got it. Then I know I haven't read this Spanish Love Deception yet, but I did get the American Roommate Experiment because they are standalones. There's just a small connection between characters. However, if I like this one, then I think I'll get the other one because this one seems more like something I would really like. It's a roommate situation, kind of a just live with me until you find a place kind of situation. You know, they fall in love and whatever. Book that I already started and desperately need to get back to reading because I've been so freaking busy is The Final Offer. This is Lauren Asher. This is the End of the Dreamland Billionaire series, which sucks because I love this series. However, I am happy that it's not dragging out forever. This is a chunker of a book, especially for a romance, but we're following Callahan as he tries to fulfill his part of the will, which requires him to go back to an old girlfriend, live with her, and make amends. So second chance romance here. It's just gonna be him trying to convince her to love him again. So it's also like enemies to lovers. Then I had to, the whole reason I did this book buying trip in February was to get Miss Tessa Bailey's new book, Secretly Yours. This is a plus size character, even though she doesn't look very plus size on the cover. This is supposed to be Tessa Bailey's first plus size heroine, and she's like, it's grumpy sunshine, second chance romance, a misunderstanding of feelings sort of situation. It's Tessa Bailey. I didn't need to know a whole lot about it. Just knowing that she wrote it means I'll probably love it. Then we have my February book of the month pick. I got Georgie All the Time, and I don't quite remember what this is. It's supposed to be about a woman finding herself and her identity in the world. And I think there's some romance in here too. I think it's a grumpy sunshine. So we'll get it. I don't know. Books with yellow covers just attract me for some reason. So as I'm putting things away, I just noticed that I actually double purchased a comic. Like, I already had number 5 of Wonder Woman, and now I have 2, which, okay. Like, I can probably take the one back to my comic book store, like, they'll buy it from me, but I didn't realize that till this second. Huh. Well, anyway, back to books that I don't have doubles of. Can't believe I did that. I got The Writing Retreat from Book of the Month as well. This is a thriller, and basically it's like you have to write your book on this retreat or you will die. Sounds like great motivation to me. I didn't want to read too much into this one because I didn't want to be spoiled. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but usually Book of the Month has great thrillers that I end up liking. And then I got Wonder Woman Volume 7, which is not part of the series that I'm currently reading. However, it was $5 at the comic book store. And finally, technically the first book I picked up, but the last one in this haul is this Tomb Raider omnibus. This is Volume 1, and it is just a big old bind up of the newer Tomb Raider series. I think this is 1 through 18 of Dark Horse's 2014 Tomb Raider series, as well as a bonus prequel from the 2013 reboot of the franchise. So there you go. I love the new Tomb Raider movie. The originals are good too, but I like the new one better. And yeah. So there's that. That's the end of this very long haul. I am now going to go take some medicine so I can stop coughing and sneezing. And yeah, I hope you guys are able to buy as many books as possible right now. We all need some lovely entertainment. I feel so much badness going on right now. So if you guys like this video, let me know down below. Let me know what you're reading. Give me recommendations. Tell me what I should buy next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.